Well, hey, everybody, it's Monday night, and you know what that means. It's Check In Monday. Grateful to have those of you that have joined me on this Monday night. It is April the 8th. That's right, April the 8th. A lot of things have happened today on April the 8th. It is somewhat of a historical time, a historical day. It was April the 8th, 50 years ago. Can you believe it? 50 years ago that, as they named him, Hammering Hank Aaron, broke Babe Ruth's record in baseball and hit number 715. That's right, 715. That was 50 years ago today. That means let me see, can I get my math right? Well, I was 12 because I hadn't, it was in April, so I hadn't turned 13 yet. So that means I was 12 years old, 50 years ago when that record was broken. And I tell you, when they showed the thing, I was like, I remember that. 12 years old. Can you believe it? I wonder how many of you can remember where you were when that record was broken, or if you were even born at that time. So things go 50 years ago today. Now, those of you that are joined, I'm so happy to have you with me on this Check-In Monday. And here we are again in month of April, and God has blessed us. Do me a favor, do this for me tonight. That's right. Like, share, make comments, let me know, and share it with someone. Well, I'm going to get right into this tonight. You know, today, and I'm not going to be long with this, but today was a historical day, I guess, as we experience in the world a total solar eclipse on today. And everyone's talking about it. Some people putting a spiritual spin on it. Some people putting a negative spin. But as long as I can remember, and being 63, I've heard about and seen eclipse before, even as a little boy. And then 7 years ago, we had an eclipse, of course, that was a total eclipse. And the next one, the next eclipse that they say is going to happen is going to be in 2044. Well, I pray that I'm around to see that. I don't know if I'll be around to see the next eclipse 2044. I'm already 63, be 64 this year. So when you're talking about that, you're talking about 84. If the Lord bless me to live, I'll see it. But that's a little ways off, y'all. And well, a long way off. And so that's going to be going down. But that's the next eclipse. And people spent hundreds of dollars to go to Texas and different places to see the eclipse. Matter of fact, one hotel owner said that they had people that booked this particular event, booked the hotel a year out, some of them over a year out, because they knew the date that this would take place. So they booked the hotel over a year ago, to be able to come and view the eclipse. People flew in and all kind of stuff. And as I was studying, I was looking to see how long the eclipse lasted, and they were saying that it lasts different times in different places. No one had the same time frame of the eclipse going, and the eclipse went, basically different times. It hit different places, different times. Some had total blackout. Some had minimum blackout. Some didn't have blackouts at all. It was just one of those things. And so here in the ATL, we didn't have a blackout. It was sort of cloudy, and while it was taking place, I was out doing something, so you really couldn't see it. But when my grandkids came home from school, they had those glasses that they had given them, and those glasses that they had given them, they let me see them, and I was able to see the eclipse through those glasses, because of course they tell you not to look at it with the naked eye. And so I was able to see, and the moon had over halfway covered the sun. And so it was taking place. And so I got a chance to see it, and they got a chance at their young age to see it. And that was exciting. And it was just something to watch the whole thing go down, and to know that they already know that it's not going to take place again until 2044. And so That was the big talk of of today and the last couple of days has been the solar eclipse. Well, when I start thinking about that, I wanted to share with you tonight on this Monday night, very brief, and not to sound super spiritual, super deep, but as I thought about this eclipse and thought about how they saw and knew it was coming, and those prepared for it, even to the extent that they were giving or selling these special glasses to see it, and to be able to see it not with the naked eye, but you had to see it through these particular lenses and to see what's happening. You know, sometimes we go through life and things happen, and some things we can't see with the naked eye. We have to see it through a different lens. And, you know, that sort of reminds me what the scripture says: we walk by faith and not by sight. Sometimes we have to see things with a different eye. We have to see it from a different point of view, a different angle. I didn't see it at all until my grandkids gave me those glasses, and I was able to look and actually see that this was taking place at that particular time. And so when you look at the eclipse, you find that it was sort of slow in moving. But another thing that caught my attention when I began to read up on it was that even though it occurred at different times in different areas, one of the other things that happened was that it was really not as long as it looked. In some places, it is predicted or said that the eclipse only lasts about 4 to 8 minutes. And so it was a short thing, but it was a big event. And sometimes in our lives, we have eclipse. We have things that come that will overshadow good things in our lives, overshadow the light. And what you saw was actually the moon taking over the space of the sun and completely blacking it out. And sometimes we have to deal with eclipse in our lives. Sometimes things happen in our lives that look like darkness completely overshadows the good we've done, overshadow the things in our life. It looks like it's midnight. It looks dark, even though it's daytime. Those that experienced the total blackout, they knew it was daytime, but the moon covered the sun and completely caused things to go dark. Sometimes we have those things in our lives that happen that cause things to go dark. And I don't want you to focus on it going dark, but it does happen. And people will try to make you feel, no, it don't take place. That don't happen. Every one of us, not just talking spiritual, I'm talking about just in our lives, have experienced some type of eclipse where things have totally taken over and nothing was shining through. Nothing was coming through. And every one of us, it had hit at a period of time that has been different periods of time. And it hadn't always hit at the same time. Today was an event that everyone saw it all over the world. But when we deal with our eclipse, sometimes it happens at different times in our lives. And sometimes we're in a place that we feel that we're hopeless, that nothing's happening for us, nothing's going on, no one can see it. Because again, notice the eclipse could not be seen unless you had on the special glasses. And sometimes people don't see what you're facing. They don't see what you're going through. And many times you've got to be spiritual to really see when people are really going through some things. Because sometimes we just think, oh, they just acting, they just going through. But when you focus and use, like with my grandkids gave me those glasses, and you can see, I was able to see that the moon coming over the sun. With the natural eye, I couldn't see it because they say don't look at it. And sometimes you will going through things, people don't see it. And we shouldn't get upset with people because you can't expect people that don't have spiritual insight or vision to always be able to see what you're going through, to always be able to even understand it. Sometimes they just think you an emotional wreck, something going on with you. They don't get it. You have to be able to see that. And so being able to see that thing today and understanding that there are people that are facing things that have just moved in front and seem to be blocking, look like you can't get ahead, look like you can't get through, look like you can't do things, look like people won't help you, just total blackout. It's just a total blackout. And there comes the time. We haven't seen it 7 years ago it happened. We won't see it again until 2044, where the sun completely takes over. Watch this. The space, or the moon completely takes over the space of the sun. Completely. The moon becomes the dominant force in the solar system. The dominant force where it completely blacks out the sun. I mean, think about that. Usually they operate independently of each other. Usually the daytime is dominated by the sun and the night is dominated by the moon. We know when you're in the daytime, you can say, oh, it's hot. The sun is out, dominated by the sun. The night, dominated by the moon. Sometime a crescent moon, sometime a half moon. You can see the moon. Sometimes it's a full moon. And no matter where you go, you're able to look at it. They usually dominate on their time schedule or the way God has set it in order. And that is the sun in the day and the moon by night. And there's a separation. We're able to tell. But then every now and then, here we are with an eclipse. And when the eclipse comes, think about this. Now the moon, not the sun, but the moon takes over the space of the sun for a few minutes and causes a complete blackout in certain areas. Now you've got where the moon has blacked out the sun. Completely dominated it, completely takes it over, and nothing nobody can do about it. It just happens. And they've been talking about this for a while. It's going to happen, and it did. Some were able to see it in its fullest totality. I was watching some pictures of my grandkids. They were looking, and they said, it's moving. They were able to see it with those special glasses. But what I want to tell you tonight, and I'm going to get out of here, is the eclipse is over. That time that it dominated the sun, that time that it moved over and completely wiped the sun out, covered it up, where no light is flowing or going. But guess what? It's temporary. It happens every now and then, so many years. But guess what? The sun, the moon had to keep moving. Passed by, covered it up, but it kept on moving. And while it was moving, underneath, you could see the sun peeking out. The sun was peeking out. And while the sun was peeking out, that means the moon is moving out. And the more it moved, the more the sun peeked out. Because the sun didn't move. It was the moon that was moving. It was, if you want to think about it, it was darkness that was flowing and moving, if you put it in that light. But it was moving out. Here, the moon moving out from the sun. And the more it moved out, the more the brightness of the sun came out, to eventually the moon completely moved out the sun's way. And when it moved out the sun's way, guess what happened? All of the brightness of the sun came through. I just want to tell you this tonight on Check-In Monday. I know there's been some eclipse in your life. I know it's been some dark spots. It's been some dark days. It's been some days that you can't even explain. You don't know why. You don't know what happened. You can't explain to folk what was going on. All you know is this is what happened. But I want to encourage you tonight on this Check-In Monday. The eclipse is over, and the sun is shining again. Tomorrow, wherever you live, If there's no rain or clouds and the sun is bursting through, guess what? The sun doesn't have to worry about the moon taking over and overshadowing its light for another 20 to 21 years. 2044, 2024, nothing's going to happen. It's going to shine. And some of you need to know, don't give up, don't faint, don't quit, because the eclipse, I promise you, is over and the sun is shining again. Do you hear what I'm saying? The sun is shining so bright. The sun is saying, listen, I don't want y'all to get down. This had to happen, but guess what? I'm shining again. I'll be shining the rest of the year. I'll be shining the rest of this time. And you don't have to worry about this. Amen. And the way God has put it that makes it so wonderful is God gives us to understand, I got the sun. It's in the scripture in Genesis. It's coming up when it's supposed to come up. It's going down when it's supposed to go down. And guess what? No one can take the light. No one can defeat the light. No one can stop the light. It is in my plan that every day the sun comes up, and every day the moon, every night the moon comes up. Every now and then you have where the moon will pass over the sun. But guess what? God didn't allow it to happen. He didn't allow, and I want you to hear this, he didn't allow the moon to get stuck over the sun. All right, I'm about to get out of here. He didn't allow the moon to get stuck over the sun to create complete darkness. So y'all gonna pass by. Next time y'all will do it will be 2044. But I'm gonna let you keep on, even though you passing, you ain't gonna be able to stop. You got to keep going, because the sun is still the most dominant force in the daytime. It is his time that he brings light to the world, no matter what sector or what part of the world. So I want to encourage those of you. I know it was a big event. Everybody was talking about it. But I felt that in my spirit when I looked at that thing. The eclipse is over. Some people that seen it today won't ever see another one. Some people that experienced it today will never experience another, because the eclipse is over. And all I need you to do is look, because the sun is shining again. Some of you, take my word. If I would give you a prophetic word, I would tell you, hang in there. The eclipse is over. The sun is shining again. And I would tell you, in spite of what things you've experienced and happened, I would say what I always say to my congregation and to everybody. Your best days, and I need you to hear me, your best days are ahead of you and not behind. They're in front of you. Somebody say, how can that be? I've had some good days behind me. Your best days are ahead of you and not behind. So what I need you to do, get your head up, put a smile on your face, and tell yourself, I've had some eclipse in my life. But when I look up, the sun is shining again. Matter of fact, I need to go get me some sunglasses, because my future looks so bright. It's shining through like never before. Not only for me, but everybody connected to me. Good things are getting ready to happen, because the sun is shining again in your life. I got to get out of here, y'all. I got to quit this. But just keep telling yourself the eclipse is over. The sun is shining again. I mean, people spend all that money to see that, but as soon as that moon got out the way, the sun would just whoo. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's sunshine again. It is. Keep telling yourself. You know, we went through that pandemic, A lot of us suffered a lot of things, some sickness, some loss in different areas. But I'm not going to keep talking about the pandemic. It's over and my future looks good. It looks bright. Things look good for me. And guess what? I'm standing on what he said and standing on knowing that, again, my best days are ahead of me and not behind me. Great things are getting ready to happen for you. Great things are getting ready to happen for me because the sun is shining again. All right, y'all, I'm through. I pray and trust you enjoyed this. I see your comments. Thank you so much. I pray that this has ministered to you, and just know that it's going to be all right. I mean, hey, I ain't got no other choice but to believe it's going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. The sun. Years ago, I forgot who wrote that song. Somebody sung that song. I think it was a little boy. Hello, sunshine. It's mighty good to see your bright sunshine. And that's what you got to tell yourself. Hello, sunshine. It's mighty good to see the bright sunshine. Darkness may eclipse things, but it can never block it. It can never stay. So don't ever claim a permanent residence with dark things. I like that. I like that. Never claim a permanent residence with dark things. Don't ever keep talking about how dark it is and how, no. And then God's got somebody that even when you're going through, he got somebody that's got that spiritual eye, those glasses. They can see what you're going through and pray for you and pray that God will lift you and do things for you. So don't build a permanent residence because the moon couldn't stay blocking the sun. Couldn't do it. I know it wanted to, but it couldn't do it. Had to keep moving. And whatever darkness and things try to eclipse your life, just say, you got to go. And I still like to let Lake Timothy write, I'm so glad trouble don't last always. You can't stay here. You got to go. The sun has got to come through, and it's got to shine for me and my household, me and my family. Better days are ahead, and brighter days are ahead of us. All right, I'm out. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Oh, my God. Thank you all for the comments. I see Lady Martin here. God bless you. I see my niece here, Kanaya. God bless you. See Elder Davis here. Plummer. Let's see. Cunningham. My church mother's here. God bless all of you. It's good to see you. Good to have you with me on tonight. Well, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Hang in there. Hold on. Now, those of you, if this is blessed you and you want to bless me, and you can use my Cash App, you see it over there. That's me. If you want to do something, send me something, I appreciate it. Not forcing you, but if you want to, if it has blessed you, just say, I'm going to bless this man to God because I like what he said tonight. I saw someone said you take, put a spiritual spin to a natural event. Sometimes that's the way the Lord deals with me. And I saw that today, that the sun's shining again. Everything's going to be all right. Well, the Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next Monday, or either until our Bible study on Tuesday or until our worship on Sunday, I want you to know that keep your head up. The eclipse is over. The sun is shining again. And your best days, I want to prophesy that in your spirit, your best days are ahead of you and not behind. May God bless you, and may all God's choice blessings